If you suspect that a dog is unconscious, you need to approach from behind. You start by touching them with the back of your foot and speak to them as well. So you're not kicking them, you're just touching them gently with the back of your foot. You would then touch them with the back of your hand. It's less invasive than the front of your hand as far as they're concerned. If there is no response at all, you need to open the airway. So you tilt the head, lift their chin back, you pull the tongue forward a bit, and you check to see if they're breathing. So you would feel the breath. You could use a bit of your hair and see if it's moving underneath their nose, and you can feel if they're breathing. If they're not breathing, you need to start CPR. If they are breathing, you would put them into the recovery position on their right hand side. So if they're not breathing, you need to then hold their mouth together, and you're going to breathe in through their nose. Use a face shield. So if you've got a face shield or something to protect yourself, that's a good idea. And always gain consent from the owner before giving CPR to somebody else's dog. So you hold their jaw together, and you're going to breathe into them, not breathing your full breath because our lungs are bigger than theirs are. So you're going to breathe into them and see the chest rise. You're going to breathe in at a rate of 1 every 3 seconds, and you're going to give 5 initial breaths. So holding in, and see if that's helped them to start breathing themselves. If it hasn't, I'm now going to check to see if there is a pulse. So I'm going to use my 3 middle fingers, and I'm going to feel just inside their back leg and see if there is any form of a pulse. Or I could put my hand and see if their heart appears to be beating. If there is a pulse, but they're not breathing, I'm now going to give another 20 breaths. So that's about 1 minute's worth of breaths to see if that will prompt them to start breathing themselves. So again, I would hold the jaw together, I would breathe into them to inflate their lungs. So I would be doing that up to 20 times. If after that they still haven't started breathing themselves, then I will need to start doing chest compressions. When I'm breathing into them, I'm being the lungs for them. When I'm pushing on their chest, I'm being the heart. So I'm being a heart and lung machine to keep their heart and their brain full of oxygenated blood, so that once they get to the vet, there's a much better chance of them making a full recovery. So I've checked for danger, I've approached them, I've checked for response, there's no response, I've opened the airway, I've checked for breathing, they're not breathing, I've given them breaths, and now I'm going to give them the compressions. So behind them like this, for most dogs, you would be pushing just on the side here, so just behind their front legs, and that's where the heart would be positioned. For something like a whippet, it's slightly more in the triangle between them, and if you have one of the flat-chested dogs like a bulldog or a pug, then you might want to roll them on their back, and you can be doing CPR on them while they're in the back. So put your hand over like this, the other hand over the top, and I'm pushing down hard and fast. Okay, 30 compressions, and then after the 30 compressions, I would go back to giving 2 breaths again. So 30 to 2, 30 to 2. Now the Blue Cross say that if you haven't had any luck and they haven't come back to life within about 3 or 5 minutes, it's highly unlikely that they are going to make a recovery. Give it your best shot. You are doing the very best possible that you can for them, and get them to a vet as quickly as possible.